Uruguay. 1930 and 1950 are the World Cup wins to know for Uruguay. The very first World Cup in 1930 was held at the Centenario Stadium in Montevideo, and Uruguay won it on home soil during a time when most European teams could not even afford the long ship journey to South America. 20 years later, at the Maracanã in Rio de Janeiro, Alcides Giggia scored the winning goal in front of nearly 200,000 fans who expected a Brazilian celebration. That result, known as the Maracanazo, remains one of the biggest upsets in sports history and still shapes Brazilian football culture today. Italy. 1934, 1938, 1982, and 2006 are the World Cup wins to know for Italy. Their first two titles came under Mussolini's fascist government, with the 1934 final in Rome and the 1938 final in Colombes, Paris, both used at the time as symbols of national strength. Decades later, Paolo Rossi carried Italy to victory at the Santiago Bernabeu in 1982, just months after returning from a match-fixing suspension, turning his comeback into one of football's great redemption stories. In 2006, Fabio Cannavaro led a disciplined defense to glory in Berlin, even as an unrelated corruption scandal was rocking Italian club football back home. Germany. 1954, 1974, 1990, and 2014 are the World Cup wins to know for Germany. Their first title in 1954, won at the Wankdorf Stadium in Bern, became known as the Miracle of Bern because it gave the country a rare moment of pride while still rebuilding from the Second World War. Franz Beckenbauer then led West Germany to victory on home soil in Munich in 1974, and the team won again in Rome in 1990, just months before East and West Germany officially reunified. Their most recent title came in 2014 at the Maracanã in Rio, where Mario Götze scored the winning goal in extra time against host nation Brazil. Brazil. 1958, 1962, 1970, 1994, and 2002 are the World Cup wins to know for Brazil. Pele became a global star at just 17 years old when Brazil won in Sweden in 1958, becoming the first South American team to win a World Cup in Europe. He went on to win again in 1962, and then led the famous 1970 squad to victory at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City, a tournament remembered for being the first ever broadcast in color around the world. Brazil added two more titles in 1994 and 2002, with Ronaldo starring in the final win in Yokohama, Japan, cementing Brazil's record as the most successful nation in World Cup history. England. 1966 is the World Cup win to know for England. The tournament was hosted entirely in England, with the final played at Wembley Stadium in London in front of a home crowd desperate to see the birthplace of football finally lift the trophy. Bobby Moore lifted the cup as captain, and Jeff Hurst scored a hat-trick in the final, a feat still unmatched in World Cup history. The win came during a period often remembered as the golden age of English football, and it remains the country's only World Cup title to this day. Argentina. 1978, 1986, and 2022 are the World Cup wins to know for Argentina. Their first title in 1978 was won at home at El Monumental in Buenos Aires, during a tense period under military rule that made the tournament politically significant as well as sporting. Diego Maradona then carried Argentina to victory in 1986 in Mexico City, a tournament defined by his mix of controversy and brilliance in the same match against England. Argentina's most recent win came in Qatar in 2022, where Lionel Messi finally lifted the trophy at Lusail Stadium, completing a career many considered incomplete without a World Cup. France. 1998 and 2018 are the World Cup wins to know for France. Their first title came in 1998 at the Stade de France near Paris, led by Zinedine Zidane, whose two-headed goals in the final became a symbol of a diverse, multicultural national team that sparked national conversations about identity at the time. 20 years later, a new generation led by a 19-year-old Kylian Mbappe won again at the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow, confirming France as one of modern football's most consistent powerhouses. Spain. 2010 is the World Cup win to know for Spain. Their only title came at Soccer City in Johannesburg, South Africa, the first World Cup held on the African continent. Andres Iniesta scored the winning goal deep into extra time, the perfect ending for a Spanish team built on the tiki-taka style of quick, patient passing that dominated world football for several years around that era.